it's on New Year's Day my internet wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, and I was lost without it in a kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
And
you feel like you're kind of detached and shut off from the rest of the world in a way, don't you, to a degree? You know,
well,
we've got so used to having it, like that complacency of knowing it's there, if you see what I mean, always there whenever we want to use it and access it. You know, when it's not there, it's like, whoa, like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, you know, like,
and some people go nuts without it.
well, you know, I do enjoy posting on Facebook, yes, sometimes, yeah, and I talk to some friends and things, you know, and I couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk to them. It's gone. Yeah. You know, it's a bit weird, you know, living without it.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know.
Yeah.
It's a bit like sort of being put in Iceland or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, strange.
Yeah. No disrespect to the Icelandic people.
No, I meant, you know, being isolated. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean it.
Yeah.
No offence to anyone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but I just felt so sort of cut off from the world in a funny way. You know, people miss me. You know, some people miss me on Facebook.
Yeah, but they got.
I was dead.
I guess they got so used to you posting and them being able to see your content every day.
Yeah.
And whatever you were doing, and then when it wasn't there, they were like, "Whoa! Like this guy's always here. He's always posting. He's always communicating with us. He's always sending us something, or you know, whatever." And now there's nothing. So what's going on?
You say on Facebook, right?
People build online relationships, even though you might not know the person in any way, shape or form. You might not even talk to each other too much online or anything, but people might follow you day in, day out, your content, what you post, and make comments and like it and share it, and you know. So, you know.
Well, you know, like for instance, I posted something yesterday, yeah, and I don't post very often, right? I didn't post anything today, okay? I don't post very often now, to be honest with you, and I've sort of like slowed down on it.
Yeah.
I used to post 10 a day, whatever, yeah. But anyway, I posted something yesterday, you know, and it's got like nearly 70 likes already, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And people love what I do, you know, and some people say don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, to me, alright. They message me in private, whatever, said don't give up what you're doing. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, keep going.
And I've actually had people from New York say that you've saved my life.
Yeah.
Honestly, they've messaged me and said you've saved, you know, I've had that. You know, and like I said, I've said in the first part that, you know, I met a girl from Dallas and she came all the way to see me, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I do have an effect on people in a funny way from what I'm doing, you know. I kind of build up a relationship with some of the people, not all of them.
Yeah.
And some of the people that I've known have actually died now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And they still got their
profile,
whatever, they're still there. Which people don't think about, do they? That, you know, when you die, your profile's still going to be there.
Still active, yeah.
You know, or your channel, even, you know, it's still going to exist after you stop doing it.
Well, not unless you give access, not unless, like, if you've got a will, or you say to someone, like, you've got a loved one, say, like, with my, okay, let's say, God forbid, I had it, let's say, okay, hypothetically, I had a channel that was very successful, whatever, and I said to my wife, God forbid something happened to me, this is, you know, I want you to take control of the channel, you know. There's, you know, or in your will, you can say, oh, this is the password, and this is the whatever else, username, etc. to all my social media, etc. I want someone to, you know, now that I'm gone, I want someone to take control of my channel, etc. You know.
Yeah. So it's given a lot of, it's given keys to anyone. Yeah. Including myself, you know. Like I say, when I lost it, sort of like just New Year's Day, you know, I couldn't go forward in a funny way, you know, but what I love doing on Facebook, and I also love doing music and creating videos to them, sharing them on my channel sometimes, you know, on my new channel there. Yeah. And you want to do the same thing, don't you? You know, and
well, when I release my music, it's just going to be like the main. When I promote my music, like I'm going to promote all my music going to be on YouTube, and then all the links for like Spotify, Apple Music, all that will be in my YouTube like description, you know, because I've lost my channel for my YouTube. Yeah, but I lost my YouTube channel and and all that kind of thing. So
Got locked out of it, didn't you?
yeah, I got locked out. I tried my best. I spent like over a week. Different ways, different means, different sources, trying to get my old YouTube channel back that I had. And not saying that I had like a lot of subscribers or anything like that on it, but it had like all my first like material and stuff on it. So that's why I wanted it back. It had all my first videos and first album on it. You know. But it's gone now, so I'm gonna have to start a new channel, which you helped me a bit with,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm gonna need you to help me probably with something else, in the future with it as well. But yeah, all my new music is gonna be coming through my YouTube, and yeah, like I said, all my descriptions for like all the platforms, like digital platforms, it will be in the description, for Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Whatever.
Yeah, and it gives you a chance really to exist, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think without the internet, you just don't exist, do you? Really?
Well, it's starting from the ground up again, starting from scratch, and trying to, going to try and, all my new music that I'm going to be releasing is going to be through there. So hopefully over time it will.
Well, it takes time.
People will obviously it's making sure I put my good music out there and good content, and hopefully over time it will grow, and people gravitate towards it and subscribe, and it will grow again, and it will.
It does take time, like when I first started Facebook, okay, I only had 2 friends.
Yeah.
It just starts off with a couple and one friend really, you send one friend request out, But then I was just started posting, I had a number of friends, like just a few. And I just started posting like I do today, sometimes, whatever. This I'm talking about 7 years ago, yeah?
Yeah.
And I just posted, and someone shares my work, don't they? Do you know what I mean? And somebody sends me a friend request,
Yeah.
And the next day I'll get another friend, do you know what I mean? And now I've got nearly 5k friends,
Yeah.
and a big following,
Yeah.
And people miss me. A lot of people miss me when I'm not there, And I don't get a penny for what I'm doing, right? I'm not. I feel like I'm famous on Facebook, but I'm not.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
People love what I do, because I kind of like go around on the internet, discovering new things, sharing that information, and people love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing a bit of work really for free.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm creating things, because what I do is share pictures of different insects or different animals or whatever. Tell them what that is, and I also put a quote from someone or myself underneath it, and people love it.
Yeah.
Because they learn sometimes from that quote about themselves or the world around them. It's a bit of philosophy,
Yeah.
And like I feel like I feel like most people are philosophers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like since my breakup with my wife, I've become a bit more of a thinker, and being on Facebook, I sort of like research different people that have written quotes, like Albert Einstein, Marilyn Monroe, John Lennon,
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, and the list goes on, alright, there's thousands of people that have written quotes.
Yeah.
Alright, even 2,000 years ago, Greeks were writing quotes back then, do you know what I mean? And I share them today, and it feels, I could go on every day sharing 10 quotes, 50 quotes a day.
If you wanted to.
If I wanted to, do you know what I mean? And never stop really, because there's so many quotes.
Well, I think there are restrictions, I think, to how many times you can post a day, I would have thought.
No, it's not.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I'm not sure exactly how it works, because I'm not a huge social media person, if you see what I mean. I do post here and there, but not,
There's no, well, I've never, they used to block me sometimes,
Yeah.
I made too many messages too quickly.
Okay. Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
But that's about it really. But
I see.
I don't think there's any, it's only a photograph, isn't it? It's not too much space, if you see what I mean. It's not like a movie, that needs a lot of space,
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand how YouTube does it, the amount of movies that are being uploaded from different parts of the world onto it, you know, it's phenomenal.
Mm.
You know, I was watching a YouTube thing about YouTube, you know,
Okay.
about YouTube itself, you know.
Like a documentary kind of thing on
Yeah,
YouTube. Yeah.
you know, and will they ever run out of space?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And will the internet ever run out of space?
Mm.
That's the question, you know, where, like I say, every minute of the day everyone's putting their photographs on it.
Yeah.
Or even when they're writing, there's still a little bit of information that's going on the internet, and it's kind of like, you know, like a big page of writing is another sort of gigabytes, that, you know, do you know what I mean? It all melts up, all
Yeah.
this information every day.
Yeah.
You know, so the internet is not just only getting older, which, as we said earlier on, it's not that old. It's still very young. It's just in its beginning.
It's in its youth.
Yeah.
In all honesty, it's only 25 years.
That's right.
And it's only been the last how many years that it's actually been good, if you see what I mean, like works well.
Last 10 years.
10 years, let's say 10 years.
Starting to get better, isn't it? You know, like 5
Whereas,
years.
you know, so, like you said, we're in the origins of it, really.
We are, you know,
it's
funny enough, it's not scary, but, you know, like I say, it's changed our world in a huge way.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
so many different ways.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's done to it, but it's done something. You know, it's
Well,
probably what caused the shutdown, really.
Like,
I don't know.
it's affected so many different parts of life, from business to social interaction to connectivity to everything. You know, it's changed the world in so many different aspects of the world. It's changed, or it made things grow or evolve. You know, and we rely to say that we rely on it heavily today is an understatement. You know, it's become a necessity in modern day society.
Part of life,
Part of life. It's instrumental. It's an instrumental part of people's lives and businesses and everything. You know. So yeah, you know. We're all caught up in the net.
Yeah, in the big world web.
In the World Wide Web.
Like a cobweb.
That's it. The internet in the net.
That's right.
Yeah, like we were saying last time.
And we can't get rid of it in a funny way, can we?
No.
You know.
And once it goes up there, it's lost in the ether. It's lost in the ether of the internet. You know? That's why sometimes people put stuff on the internet that they regret, and then they try their best to get it removed, and sometimes people remove a large portion of it, but somewhere out there on the internet, it still exists. So usually you get these celebrities, occasionally you get like a celebrity who's been hacked, or something's happened, and you know, some nude photos come out, or something revealing come out, and then they would get it all removed, but you best believe that it still exists somewhere out there online, you know, because once it gets lost in the internet, you know, it's gone, you know, it's gone, you know.
It's like music, everything, right? So easy now and free. You know, once you got the internet in a kind of way, you know, you can almost sort of like play any tune you want to. You know, and cool, because you're just paying for the internet, you can just listen to anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or even if you want to find a girlfriend, really, you know, you could do that. You know, go on a date site. Or, you know.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun gambling. You know, again, it's an entertainment. The internet, isn't it? You know, it entertains a lot of people, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's what people love in life, entertainment.
Entertainment, yeah, it's true.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
They like entertainment at a switch of a button.
Yeah.
In a funny way, and that's what internet's done in a funny way, you know. And I kind of think it's killed a lot of stuff in a funny way, where because everything's so free and simple and easy and accessible, I suppose it's not so, I don't know, like, it's hard for people to earn money
Yeah.
on their art,
Yeah.
I think.
In comparison to before, yeah.
You know, even on YouTube, you know, it's even, you know, even if you do share your stuff and make a channel, it's hard to get known on there.
Mm.
You know, that's the difficult part, I think, you know, getting out, you know, because you could have lots of stuff on there, whatever, and lots of good stuff, but nobody knows you exist because you're not going around chatting, I suppose, or being sociable, you know, or getting
But
an audience to you.
a lot of people who have like big marketing budgets and stuff today for their, you know, they pay to promote their stuff. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, it just sometimes it all comes down to money.
But that doesn't always work always, but it does help if you see what I mean. Maybe a lot of these people are paying large amount of money for YouTube promotion, Facebook promotion, Instagram, you name it, promotion, if you see what I mean, you know.
Mm.
So that helps too, you know, when you've got a nice bag behind you, a nice bag of money to promote your shit, to spend on marketing alone, just on marketing alone, you know. So, yeah. But yeah.
But there's lots of different ways of making money on the internet, isn't there?
Mm.
You know, and you know, even making software.
Oh, true, yeah.
Building software.
Mm.
You know, that's giving a number of jobs to a lot of people, and games.
Yeah.
Building games up.
Graphics,
you know.
graphic design.
And to me, like, I mean, I don't create. I'd love to create a game, really, you know, but I don't know to go about it, really. You know, I'm learning video editing at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. You know, and I can't wait to share my videos in the future. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I won't be able to do it without the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would be impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's what makes me feel happy today, I suppose, that I'm not living in a cupboard anymore, you know.
Mm.
And the internet's given me a window.
Yeah, to the world.
To the world, to show.
And isn't it funny when
show you my art?
What do you open up when you go into Internet Explorer? What do you open up? A window.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's called Windows.
Window. Isn't it funny, huh?
Yeah, that's why it's all called Windows in a way where you can see out of them.
A window.
It's like they can see out. You can see out wherever you want, yeah, but someone can see you in a funny way, you know.
Window to the world. Yeah. It's funny.
No, I think they can see what you're doing.
Mm. Oh, for sure, man.
Wherever you're going.
Most definitely, yeah.
You know.
They can check everything today, mate, you know.
Yeah, not that it matters, you know. Say, I mean, when you, on Google, for instance, if you Google anything almost,
yeah.
Don't matter what it is, well, I'll guarantee you, yeah, you Google any, just write any word, or put Lorraine or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and go to the videos and search down, alright, and I bet you, you know, somewhere at a point you'll see some porn somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just phenomenal, you know. And I know that you've got child safety on there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but I don't like to put that on because I like to see everything
Mm-hmm.
in a funny way, you know. That I like to see the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what is.
Yeah.
You know, but it's quite shocking sometimes, you know, when I'm going about on the internet what I see. You know, quite surprising.
Yeah.
You know, but I think, like, again, it's a good way of catching criminals.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what they do today as well, which is good as well. I think sometimes they use the technology to trap some of these people online, you know. Sometimes you get these people that, you get, I don't know, per se, I've only seen, like, documentaries and shit on it, you know, again, like, you know, online. Of like these people getting caught online, you know, these predators and shit getting caught online, you know, by people who are, people who are doing investigations, you know, into these, you know, those kind of people, you know.
A lot of people getting caught. Telling you, the internet has made this world a safer place in a funny way.
Yeah, and not only that, but think about how fast news travels today. If anyone who's got any kind of status, anything happens to them today, or they pass away, or whatever the case may be, it goes around the world within 48 hours. Pretty much most of the world knows. Right. It's like when Michael Jackson, let's use Michael Jackson as an example. Mm-hmm. when he passed away, probably within a few days, everyone around the world pretty much known that he'd gone. It was all over, it was everywhere, online, everywhere. It was, you know. So, information used in regards to, you know, some things today's travels like wildfire, wildfire, as they say, you know. Because of the internet, you know.
Yeah, it's a powerful place, and like I say, it's still in its youth.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing, you know. People think it's been, you know, like
it's not been great. It's not been great for a long time. Like, you know, I even say to my son sometimes he asks me about it, and I explain it all to him, and he's like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is, you know, it's not always been like this.
Brand new.
It's not always been like this, love. Like, you know,
it's brand new, all this, you know." And you think, like, when your son grows up, when he's an old man, you know, what the internet's going to be then.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I mean, at the moment,
but even to think, okay, I'm 30, yeah, and
I'm 56.
Yeah.
That's why I look so old.
But even in the next 20 years, say you're 76, 20 years from now, the internet is going to be a lot more advanced than 20 years from now. And 20 years from now, I'll be 50. So to see how the internet is in 50 years, 20 years from now, too, for myself, would be, you know, amazing. Because obviously we've experienced all this already, you know.
Well, they're just sort of bringing out 8K now, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Videos.
Okay, yeah.
You know, 4K is very good.
And everything's improving.
But 8K is, you know, I mean, I was watching one today, a space 8K.
Okay.
And the definition was amazing.
Yeah.
And the 8K is sort of like artificial technology.
Okay.
Intelligence.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, like, I don't know how, I can't remember, you know, it's something to do with 4K hasn't got artificial intelligence, but 8K has.
Okay, I get you, yeah.
Don't know how it works, but the definition is even better.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is go to YouTube and, you know, 8K video or whatever, and you'll watch one.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. No,
I'm thinking, like,
I'll have to check that out, mate. That's quite interesting.
Maybe next year it'll be 16K.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Because, like you said, it's that thing of continually trying to improve everything, you know.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get, you know, make things better. Because at the end of the day, they do make money through making things better. Like we said earlier, you know, the newer the technology, the more advanced the technology, the more people buy into it as well. You know, these companies know that as well. It's all, you know, don't get me wrong, it does benefit mankind, of course, because, you know, through the newer, improved technology and these advancements, we benefit from it and enjoy it, and, you know, the entertainment value of it and everything else that comes with it. But yeah, you know.
That's what people really, you know, like, love doing, really improving things.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. Like cars, shoes.
But that's why even
everything.
Even today, like, that's why we've got these factories and we've got these machines that do all the packaging of goods and all these kind of things today. It's basically, it wasn't always just to take away the jobs from people. It was to take away the hardships of the jobs of some of these people, because it was groundbreaking work, a lot of this work for some people, and they thought, you know what, we need to, you know, as soon as we can, we need to find a way where we can bring machines to do this, because it's, you know,
well, that's what they've done, isn't it? You know, and even, like, for instance, sort of like them, they got robots that make chipboards and silicon chips.
Yeah.
You know, and man wouldn't be able to do these.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to solve it all.
And sometimes it's precision too. It's done through computer and chip too, and
some of this is micro soldering. Do you know what I mean? And it's, the machines are so accurate.
Well, I was going to say they've even created. I think they've already. I don't know if they've already started using them, but I know they were creating robots to do surgery.
Wouldn't surprise me.
They were basically creating these robots that could do surgery, because they were saying obviously with a surgeon they do great jobs, but obviously with a surgeon his hands are never going to be as steady
or
as precise as a computer that has got coordination.
That's right, yeah. I think I've seen that.
So, I don't know if they've already been in use, because they might already be in use, but I was going to say I have watched something about it, very interesting.
But you know, like, it is incredible, like the robots that actually make these motors and
all this type of shit.
Tiny little motors.
All this type of shit.
I mean, if you have a look at these little motors, right, which, because I used to sort of like take things apart a lot when I was younger. Right?
Yeah.
But they got coils of tiny little wires like this, you know. No man would be able to do it, do you know what I mean? And they've got these machines that do it all, do you know what I mean? It's incredible.
It's incredible, yeah.
And I don't know how they make machines, you know, to do it, but they do.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know how, you know, it's like a camera, you know, the best camera in the world, say that was here right now. Man would look at that and say, how can we improve it?
Yeah.
You know, next year they'll improve it somehow.
They will improve it, yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? And they do with every item that you can see, whether it's... I mean, I think, like, with the saucepan, for instance, I don't think you can get better than what it is. But they do.
Well, I think they have improved, because it's like, even today, we know... Okay, let's say, for example, when non-stick first came out, yeah? Not knocking any non-stick companies, because I'm not, we're not looking for trouble, but... When non-stick first came out, people weren't aware of the fact that certain non-stick companies were using certain non-stick chemicals on their pans that were not healthy to be using for cooking your food, if you see what I mean. Because when these chemicals were heated, when these pans with these chemicals, with these layers of, what's it called, on it, you know what I mean?
Whatever it was.
Was when it was heated up, they would release chemicals into your food.
Do they do non-stick anymore?
They still do, but they've changed. I think they've had to reevaluate and change it up and whatever. But initially, a lot of the products that they were using for the non-stick stuff, when it was heated up to a certain degree, certain temperature, it would release chemicals into your food. And they realised that it could be unhealthy, it could be hazardous, you know what I mean? It could be, you know, unhealthy for you. You know, releasing all these chemicals, toxins into your food, just because you're trying to keep your pan non-stick, kind of, essentially. But now they realise today that you can use copper pans. They now make copper pans today. They now make all sorts of other type of pans. They cost a bit more money, but they're more durable and they're safe to use, if you see what I mean. If you see what I mean, you know.
I mean, again, with computers, right, and all that, the power of them, all that, like, the computers themselves, I mean, they can play chess.
Yeah.
As well, you know, do you know what I mean? And not just that, they can also come up with better ideas sometimes, you know, for design of cars and things, you know, do you know what I mean? It's incredible, you know, like, they can put a computer through wind and all that and sort of work out, you know, do you know what I mean? It's incredible what they can do with computers. I don't know how they do it sometimes, you know.
It's incredible.
Even with this, like, for instance, I've got like Sony Soundforge, which I use for my sound editing. But I just don't know how somebody actually built the software.
Yeah, exactly.
In the first place, you know.
Well, to me, that's the part that always interests me.
Yeah, you know, like they've had to, you know, carefully write this software out and tell the software how to alter each sound, and you know, the software is actually telling the components on the circuit board what to do.
What to do.
You know, but how does the man
even start? Where do you start?
I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's beyond me, but
that's what I mean.
You know.
Well, that's where, like you said, it's people. A lot of these people would be going to school for, you know, that you're going to school to learn about that stuff.
The nerds.
Well, not
go for the nerds.
But not to me. Even I don't even see them as nerds. I just see them. I don't even like. I just see them as like people who. We need those people. We need these people in society. You know, for the human evolution. You know. If these are the people that are going to continually try to come up with new ideas and new ways of progression that are going to make our lives easier and better and more efficient and more enjoyable, etc., then why not?
Like even when you sort of like playing some games and that, they've actually made it like when you're jumping, it makes you feel like you're actually jumping in a funny way, you know, and the buttons are so, you know, if you press the button hard,
yeah,
it'll jump high, for instance, but if you do it softly, it'll jump, you know what I mean?
yeah,
and all this
yeah.
kind of like how they've done it all, it's incredible to me.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think about all the games, like I remember like playing GTA for the first time, Grand Theft Auto, on PlayStation. Like, obviously it's a lot better now, but I remember even like, when that first came out, like the graphics that back then we thought were amazing, and like, you know, literally you're in a game and this game takes like weeks on end to complete. Like you're literally, you can play this game every day and you've got to go on different missions, going into different parts, different towns, different cities. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, almost like continuous, but like you could play it for weeks. It'd take a long time to like complete the game because you're continuously, you know, like you'd have to play every day for a while to complete it, kind of thing, you know. But yeah, it was just amazing. Like, just like you said, the idea of someone who sat and literally created this and wrote the game, and you know, like the graphics and you know, everything that's gone into it, you know.
I mean, that's what you got to think about when games first started coming out, like Nintendo, Mario, and all that sort of stuff, you know. How it kind of changed the world in a funny way. Because I can remember when they first come out, or how it changed me. Yeah. In a funny way, because I was sort of like, oh, this is good fun. Yeah. You know, and I bought it, and I was sort of with my girlfriend at the time. Yeah. Just before I had my first baby, my first son. Yeah. And we used, you know, I used to come home from work, switch the thingy on, you know. Yeah. We didn't watch films or anything anymore. We were playing that all day, you know. Yeah. And we both got addicted to it. You know what I mean? Then we had our baby, of course, you know. And we'd sort the baby out, our son, you know. Yeah. You know, but we were young, you know. And then we'd sort of like put him to bed and play Nintendo again. Do you know what I mean? We're addicted to it. And that was that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was just thinking how many other people were addicted at the same time. It
was fun, I must say. When Nintendo 64, say for example, first came out, that was, I remember that even when that first came out, that was great. I remember sitting there and playing like 007, James Bond 007, and all these different games that you would still for that time were great games. Like you had so many different missions and so many different things you could do and go on, and things you had to complete and do, and it was just, you know, for that time period, it was just amazing. And like you said, you could get lost in it. You'd spend hours on it, like, you know, especially when you're young. You know, when you're young, and you know. But you know, when they invented that Nintendo, whatever, you know, that was the boom of something big going to happen.
Oh yeah. You know, all of a sudden there was lots of different games. You know, a few games, and then it's exploded. Do you know what I mean?
There was loads of games. Yeah.
It kind of exploded. Do you know what I mean?
And I remember being young and asking my mum, you know, having to ask my mum, you know, oh, can you buy me a Nintendo 64 game? Like, you know, I need a new game, like, you know.
It's 50 quid.
And back then too, the Nintendo 64, you could play with 4 players. Like, you'd have to buy the controls, of course, you know. But you could play up to 4 players, you know. So it was quite cool. You know?
And it kind of like, you can imagine though, you know, I think a lot of people wanted the Nintendo when it first came into, you know what I mean?
Of course, because that was the newest.
It's like the internet coming in a funny way, you know, and everyone was playing games rather than doing the things they should be doing.
But I remember Sega Genesis, that was a big thing, because I was very young when Sega Genesis came out, so I did play it a little bit, but my sister was older than me, so she was able to fully enjoy Sega Genesis. And then you had, yeah, I'm sure you've heard of Sega Genesis. No, that was the early, like the first kind of video game. And then not long after that, you had other things that came out, like the Super Nintendo, and a few other things that came out. And then it was like Nintendo 64, and then it was like the big thing, PlayStation 1, and then it was PlayStation 2. That was the big thing. That was around for a little while. And then it slowly progressed to PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, you know. And now I think today the newest one is PlayStation 5, I think, you know.
But you know, like, you know, the children go to school, yeah. And they come home and put their games on, you know.
Well, I used to do that myself when I was in that young age. I used to be guilty of that, mate.
Exactly.
Couldn't wait to get in, and my mum said, okay, if you do your homework, then you can play for an hour or 2 before you have your dinner and go to bed or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
And it's like,
and that was happening. When that was happening to you, it's happening all over the place.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one. Yeah.
Where that.
Remember being like 8.